If it's in a word or if it's in a book, you can't get rid of the Babadook. A rumbling sound, then 3 sharp knocks. That's when you'll know he's around. You'll see him if you look, the Babadook Dook Dook. This is what he wears on top. He's funny, don't you think? See him in your room at night, and you won't sleep a wink. I'll soon take off my funny disguise. Take heed of what you've read, and once you see what's underneath, you're going to wish you were dead. That, ladies and gentlemen, was the story of the Babadook.
Hello, I'm Emily Steller.
And I'm Octavia Claudio.
And welcome back to Thumpintheories, where we review crazy fan theories as true or false so you don't have to. The Babadook. Hello, I am Emily Steller.
And I'm Octavia Claudio.
And welcome back to
Thumpintheories,
where we review crazy fan theories as true or false so you don't have to. The Babadook is one of the scariest movies for your children to watch, in my personal opinion. Many of you guys listening can probably relate to the fact that you love a good jump scare and evil storyline when it comes to horror movies. Well, no need to fret. The Babadook features several terrifying jump scares and brutal scenes. Not only does it grab the attention of the viewer, but it makes the film so much more than a story from a children's book. The Babadook features a mom and her son that have just moved into a new house, and an absent father which died from a car crash. In the house, the kid finds a book called Mr. Babadook. This book goes on to haunt their family, as the book describes a long dark figure that rests in the darkest parts of their home. Many suspect that the mother wrote the mysterious children's book. This could be a possibility, including the fact that the mother was a previous children's book writer. She sees her son as a burden, and her husband's brutal death caused her mental health to spiral into a decline. Others seem to think that the Babadook represents the mother's hatred for the son. This could also be a possibility since in the beginning of the movie, Samuel, the son, was introduced as an inconvenience and a bratty child. Also, when Amelia, the mother, gets angry at the Babadook, the Babadook starts to make noises, and at the end, when Amelia tells the Babadook and her husband's ghost to get out, Amelia is unable to control her emotions.
Not only have Emily and I watched tons of horror films, but we have also done a lot of research over this movie.
By the end of this podcast, we hope that you too will be able to give your own opinion on the theory and come up with your own conclusion.
The 3 topics of evidence for the first theory that we are going to review today are that the mother was a previous book writer, she's seen her son as a burden, and after her husband's death, her mental health spiraled into a dark hole. The other pieces of evidence that we are reviewing for the second theory are that the son was introduced as a burden. When Amelia gets angry, the Babadook starts to make noises, and at the end, when Amelia tells the book Babadook and her husband's ghost to get out, Amelia is then able to control her emotions.
To begin, we're going to talk about how the mother was previously a children's book writer.
At the beginning of the movie, it is known that Amelia, the mother, was previously a children's book writer. Now, I know that this is a stretch, but many think that the writer of the film would not have just added this detail in just spite of adding it.
I agree.
Yeah. They think that this has some sort of significance and that a small little detail like this can change the whole plot of the movie. Now, as someone who loves a good movie theory, I do believe in small details playing a significance in the storyline. The fact that she once was a children's book writer, I think, is a little weird because the book in the house just mysteriously popped up in the house. I think that this could lead to the mother being the one writing the book because, 1, you're the one that unpacked the son's belongings and put them in his room. So why would some mysterious book just pop up in the house without you knowing? And 2, why would you not question the book before reading it? Especially if the title and the front cover look like that. Personally, if I was a mother and then I looked at the book, and I would not read that to my kid before bed because single-handedly it looks like it would give them nightmares. What do you think, Emily?
I agree. I think sometimes people overanalyze small details, especially in movies and especially horror movies. But she's a children's book author.
Yeah.
And the whole movie is about a children's book.
That's not a coincidence.
You didn't just put that in there for fun. I definitely think she wrote it.
Yeah.
There's literally no doubt in my mind that she wrote the book.
Yeah.
Or at least has some connection to it.
Now that we've heard about her mysterious old writing job, let's discuss how Amelia sees her son as a burden.
So if you have never seen the Babadook, then you would know that the son is pictured as some bratty kid that doesn't listen to his mother. The kid is seen as an outcast when he goes to his own cousin's birthday party, and he gets yelled at and kind of picked on because he's a troublemaker. The mother is embarrassed of the kid, and whenever he throws a fit, she gets extremely angry. This could give the mother that motive to write that kind of book. She could be trying to scare Samuel into behaving by reading the story to him. And I think that if the book was written by Amelia, then it was for the purpose that her son was misbehaving, and she needed some sort of leverage to get him to behave. Convincing your own son that there's a monster in the house and that he lives in his room is certainly something that can scare the child and make him be less worried about his mother and more worried about the monster.
As someone that scares my sister all the time with little stories or with Chucky, I find it extremely effective when you want them to leave you alone.
I personally think that the mother most likely did project her anger onto her son, and that it could be a possibility that she wrote the book in spite of him. Pause.
Go!
I personally think that the mother most likely did project her anger onto her son, and that it could be a possibility that she wrote the book in spite of him. It does not seem like a solid explanation, but it does provide some sort of backbone for the idea. Now we're going to move on to the fact that the mother's mental health was not the best.
The movie makes it well known that the mother is not in a good mental state. She is constantly annoyed and is acting weird. When we see stuff in her perspective, it's always very aggressive and aggravating. Her husband also died, which could be another reason for her having a negative attitude. I think that if the mother were to have written the book, that it could be like a spillage of her thoughts. She seems very depressed and dark at the time, so it's a possibility. Throughout the whole movie, I've seen, like, she's just very angry all the time. What do you think, Emily?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the whole beginning of the movie is her son acting out. And just from then, I mean, yeah, that's one of the main parts of the movie is that she's struggling.
Yeah, from her husband's death.
Yeah.
So now that we have directed all of our evidence on the mother writing the book, let's conclude. So, personally, I think the mother definitely wrote the book.
Yeah, I can only agree. And really what does it for me is that stupid little detail of her being a children's book author. Because why would you include that if she didn't write the book?
No, movies always do that all the time where there's add that little thing. It's just like, that was not there for... that was not there just cause.
Yeah.
So, is this Thumpintheories verified?
Yeah.
This is Thumpintheories verified. So...
now that we've covered that crazy fan movie theory, let's dive into the theory that the Babadook actually represents Amelia's hatred for her son. Just like the last theory, many are using the idea that the son was a burden in the movie as evidence. I think that this does add to the idea that the Babadook that the Babadook represents the mother's hatred for her son. That the Babadook represents the mother's hatred for her son because the Babadook seems to pick on the son. This could make sense due to the fact that the mother is always annoyed by him and yelling at him. So the idea that the Babadook lives in the dark of the house could be signifying the mother's rage. Do you agree with this, Octavia?
I mean... yeah, she's, like, really aggressive, and that dog scene was brutal.
Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about the dog. Do you want to explain what happened?
Yeah, basically, she killed the dog. She just went psycho. And I think that her rage on her son was just... I mean, he's bratty. Like, if that was my kid, I'd probably whoop him, but, you know, I wouldn't be going crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, also I have sympathy because he's probably just really messed up. Like, I don't think he's trying to be a bad child. He just is actually mentally disturbed.
Yeah, and he seems abused. Like, he seems abused, and his dad died.
Yeah. Bro's got issues on issues.
Yeah.
So now that we've heard about her son's extreme burdening presence, let's talk about our second piece of evidence, which is that whenever the mother is angry, the Babadook makes noises.
So during the film, the mother gets angry at her son a lot, and suspiciously, every time the mother gets mad, the Babadook makes some sort of scary noise. This is a little weird and suspicious because why is it making noises when she becomes angry? This leads me to think that this has to be connected in some way. Many also believe that the mother feeding the Babadook could be her feeding her the rage and depression that she possesses. And there was also a scene in the movie where the son tells the mom to let it in. By this, he could be meaning, like, the hatred or the rage. Another example of this is when they were in the car, like, Samuel the son and the mom, like, they got in a car crash because the Babadook was attacking the roof of the car because the son made the mom mad. So, like, why is the Babadook even in the car in the first place? Because she's there.
Yeah, because it's a manifestation of herself.
Yeah. Like, it's literally attacking the car because her son's throwing a fit. No, because when I used to watch this movie before, I always thought it was the son that controlled it, but now I'm realizing it's the mom.
Yeah.
Like, she's definitely got something going on with it.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it again because I haven't seen it in a while. But
yeah.
But I mean, that's an interesting perspective, too, that you could flip it onto it being the son.
Uh-huh.
What if it was the dad?
No, no, because the dad at the end of the movie, I'm like, what are you doing here, girl? I don't know if you saw that part, but it's a little weird.
No, but, like, what if... I don't know if you believe in that kind of paranormal stuff. What if it's the dad coming back as the Babadook?
Yeah. Yeah, because he was, like, a businessman, so the idea that the Babadook has some tall hat on and, like, a suit on...
I didn't even think about that!
Yeah.
Was he really a business guy? I don't remember.
Well, all I knew is that he wore suits, because they had, like, a picture in one scene of it of, like, him in, like, a suit. Or, like, didn't it show him live, actually?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it showed him, like, a...
Hold on, let me do some
once.
research.
Yeah. Well, insert a picture if we end up finding it. But I'm pretty sure, like... He was, like, pictures at... oh, my God. He was pictured as, like, in his suit, which is what the Babadook is known for. And
Yeah, he does wear a suit.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, that's so interesting that the Babadook also wears a suit and a hat.
Yeah. Wait, I think we're onto something.
I'm pretty... Is that him?
Yeah, that's him.
Wait, that's so good. I didn't even think about
that literally looks like the Babadook, too.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far.
I don't know if the mom's, like, creating it or if it's, like, truly him.
I don't know. Maybe the Babadook isn't the dad himself, but the mom wrote the book to portray the Babadook as the father.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's who she based the Babadook off of.
Yeah, maybe they had, like... I don't know, it seems like he's been abused his whole life, so maybe they had problems. And so, like, with those problems, she wrote them down in that book. Like, before he died. And then, like, after he died, she was like, like, stuff's going down now.
Yeah.
So, next, we're going to talk about how the ending of the movie actually leads us to believe that the Babadook was the mother's rage.
So at the end of the movie, the mother yells at the Babadook and at her ex-husbands, or should we say ex-husbands or deceased husbands?
Yeah, we can say deceased.
Deceased husbands goes to go away. She screams at them and they end up going away. The movie then ends with the mother and the son hugging, and the mom says that it is quiet again. I think that she means that she has finally fought her inner demons or her depression or her guilt of her husband's death. I almost said mother's. I don't know why. She could also have been letting go of the rage that she had for her son by getting over the father's death, because in some way she could have been blaming him. Now that we've looked over all the evidence for our second theory, let's conclude.
So, even with, like, the ending of the book, I'm not sure if I think it's her rage or what. Because, like, I just know that the dad definitely has to have some significance with that. Yeah. I definitely think she wrote the book. I definitely think that she wrote the book. But I'm not sure if it was her rage. What do you think?
So, I do think that in some way the Babadook is a manifestation of the mother's mental illness. But I think that we were onto something with the dad's role.
Yeah.
Like, that she probably plays a more major part than we thought before we started discussing this.
Yeah, I just think that it's so weird that they, like, even added that. Just, like, the little detail that...
That she's a children's
Yeah,
book
that,
author?
and also, like, the fact that he's, like... It specifically shows him in a suit-like thing. Also, something that we didn't dive into was, like, the feeding. That's so weird that, like, she was, like, feeding the Babadook.
Do you want to explain that a little bit?
Okay, so basically, we found out later in the film that she was actually, like, feeding the demon-like thing. Which, if it wasn't... If she didn't have any relation to that, and it was hurting her son, I don't know why she's feeding it. So she definitely has to have some sympathy creation, just something to do with that.
Yeah.
Because if something is hurting your family, you would be trying to get rid of it, not keeping it in your basement and feeding it like a pet.
Yeah, but doesn't she have to feed it in order to keep it stable?
Oh, yeah, she does. Yeah, so why aren't you wanting it to, like, you know, go away? What if it is the dad and she's keeping it around because she doesn't want
because she doesn't want to let go?
Yeah.
Oh,
we're so good.
Because she doesn't want to accept the fact that he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that could be him. What if she's like holding on to that so he's not able to pass over? That's why he's mad. And he's
pass over.
Like, I don't know, his spear or whatever, because obviously he's being mean.
So he can't, like, his spirit can't just move on because it keeps being messed with by her.
Yes.
Oh.
And that's why it's, like, messing with the kid and the mom.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. I think that's so interesting.
Yeah. Interesting indeed, Audie.
Another thing that could lead to this is also, like, I'm just gonna go back to the fact that she actually read the book to him. Like, do you see the title of it in the picture?
Yeah, why did she just think, oh yeah, let's read this?
I know. Single-handedly, if I saw that, I'd be scared. Like, girl, that's going in the trash.
Or at least as you're reading it, do you not, like, realize...
Yeah.
You have the choice to put it down and just stop.
I know.
So, like, why did you not do that?
And also, if she, like, knows her son is, like, some, like, bratty kid, like... Where did that book come from? Like, my kid was acting up, I'd either think, like, he stole it.
Did they just find the book in their new... Because they moved into a new house.
Yeah.
And they just find the book in there?
Yeah.
And
like,
that's not sus.
Like, no, in the kids' room. Like, you unpacked his stuff. You would know.
Yeah.
And the fact that it lives in, like, dark corners of the house. First off, just keep all the lights on. Like, I don't know. She just feeds...
Those bills are gonna be going up if you keep all the lights.
She just feeds into it way too much. And I'm just like, what? I feel bad for the son.
Justice for Samuel.
Honestly, do you think it is Thumpintheories verified that it represents her rage? Because I do not.
To some extent, yeah.
Oh, to some extent? I think it's rage has something to do with it, but it's not the main reason.
I don't know if I would say rage as much as just mental instability.
Yeah. Mental instability.
We know English.
So is this Thumpintheories verified?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think so?
I mean, to some extent, yeah. So this
I think it's more Thumpintheories verified that the dad has something to do with it.
Yes.
Or especially that she wrote the book.
Yeah. We've made our, like, own little theory that we believe.
Yeah.
So our theory is Thumpintheories verified.
Yes.
So we also have an outsider opinion today, which is, in fact, Aaron Stellar themselves, right? Live action. No, it's not live action. It's a quote. But Aaron said that, I do not think that the mother wrote the book because why would she purposely write a scary book like that and then read it to her son?
Because she's mentally unstable.
I don't know if Aaron just doesn't know enough about the movie, but this girl's crazy. This girl's actually crazy. So she would probably, read that book. So that could... I disagree with Aaron.
Maybe, I guess I kind of do too, but maybe something happened to where... No, I was going to say maybe something happened to where she wasn't meaning for her son to find it like that, but she presented it to her son and read it to him.
Yeah.
So never mind, scratch that.
Like, that makes no sense for her to just be like, oh, whoopsie daisy, my book's in here.
I don't know, I guess I have to open it and read every single page. It
Like-
manifests this demon in my
Yeah, and then feed it, and then just not let go, like, girl.
So after listening to this podcast, I hope that you can come up with your own conclusion to the theories and share more that come to mind. The 3 pieces of evidence for the first theory that we are going to review today are that the mother was a previous children's book writer. She sees her son as a burden, and after her husband's death, her mental health spiraled into a dark hole. The other pieces of evidence that we are reviewing for the second theory are that the son was introduced as a burden. When Amelia gets angry, the Babadook starts to make noises, and at the end, when Amelia tells the Babadook and her husband's ghost to get out, Amelia is unable to control her emotions. With this being said, I hope the next time you hear a children's story, you think about how it could affect your life.
Thank you for listening to
Yeah, guys, thank you for listening.
Thumpintheories.